And so last year we had over 12,000 meals that we were providing to families. And so we have guest chefs come in every day. They don't come in every day, and they call and they get put on our calendar, and they bring ingredients, and they can make whatever they want. And if the guests can't eat it, that's up to them, but there's no restrictions. We don't, ask for any dietary restrictions. And it's really a wonderful thing. So businesses come in and families, or, moms with kids, and, really trying to teach their kids, giving back at a young age. A lot of times we have families that come back that have stayed here, and then they're coming back just to visit and to.
I was gonna ask that. That must be so great when, you guys are a huge part of this early moment, especially when we talk about the little babies and their life, and it's very stressful. And so then once the kid is now thriving, when that's the case, like to see them come back, and I'm sure that's got to be really rewarding for you guys working there too.
It was funny. A mom had just called me this morning, and she's like, so-and-so. And, everybody thinks that we remember everyone, but there's so many families in and out. It's like, oh, yes. How's your baby? And, well, we're going to come by on Tuesday. We want to show you how big he is. And I was like, oh, well, I said, well, Tuesday might not be the best day. There's all kinds of meetings and other things set up. But they get so excited to come back and show us pictures. We get Christmas cards. We get to see. And then we've had adult kids that have come back here. Well, they're adults now that were here when they were children, because we've been in existence for we're going on our 42nd year this year. Wow. So we've been around for a long time, and we are one of 359 Ronald McDonald Houses around the world. And so we're under the umbrella of Ronald McDonald House Global out of Chicago. But we all, operate independently. And this is a misconception. People think that McDonald's funds us completely, and McDonald's does not fund us. McDonald's, the owner-operators help fund us, and they are great contributors, and they give us a lot of money. But the big McDonald's in Chicago, they don't give us money. So what that means is when you're going through a McDonald's and you put money in the box, the donation boxes, that comes back to us. That's your money as a community member. Or when you go to the register and they say, do you want to round up for RMHC, which we're really promoting, that money comes to us as well. So they have Shamrock Shake, events and Happy Meals, and they have different events, fundraisers for us, which is wonderful. And so they really are a good portion of our budget, those events that come in. We don't really do events here. It's just we don't have the staffing to do that. And we have one event, it's in September at Waterworks, called a Wait-a-thon. And that's fun. And we have people come in and serve customers, and all the tips come to the house. So that's about all we have for events.
Now, Chris, is there any cost for the families when they come and stay with you for the meals or the lodging or anything like that?
Good question. I didn't mention that. No, everything is no charge to them at all. The only thing we ask for is a $25 deposit, which they get back when they leave in case there's any damage. In the past, we have had some instances where there's been damage, and we've had to paint the room or something. So that's the only thing, but everybody gets their money back. And yeah, it doesn't cost them a thing. And like I said, stay as long as they want.
And another thing I think that makes the world go around, which you've kind of touched on, though, is the volunteers. So if someone is interested in volunteering or doing something to help you guys, what's the best way for them to make that happen?
Yeah, so they can just call us, and that's if they can look up Ronald McDonald House, or it's 802-862-4943, and they can bake if they don't want to cook a meal. We have, I think it was 2,200 hours of volunteer service last year. Our volunteer pool declined extensively after COVID, but we do have opportunities for volunteers. It's mostly cooking, actually, but that is what we count on, for our guests and for any kind of help here. I'm
We
trying
haven't
to-
talked
So
about
how-
Mike.
You've been there a while.
Oh, and Mike, where is Mike? Mike is, I could go get him. He's probably sitting right outside the door. Mike is.
Well, I think, and there's some photos. There's some photos
Oh, yes,
of
here he
Mike. You
is.
know, Mike
man of
is a
the hour.
Portuguese water dog. And I giggled when I said it, mostly because last week we had a conversation about pets with human names. And so it's quite appropriate that we have Mike here, who is a pet with a human name. But
So I
tell
have to
us about Mike.
Yeah. So Mike is actually an Australian Labradoodle.
Oh, okay.
And he looks like a Portuguese water dog. He's an Australian Labradoodle, and he comes from Indiana, where they breed them and train them to work at Ronald McDonald Houses. And he's hypoallergenic, and that's why there's the doodle in him. Mike came to us, 8 years ago, and he'll be 9 on July 27th. But 8 years ago, we had a volunteer here, Mike Cronigue, if anybody knows that name, Father Mike from St. Michael's College. And I loved Mike. He was here every Sunday night. And he ended up having a massive heart attack and dying, and I was crushed. And then the dog comes like the next week, and the dog is black and he's got white, and it kind of looked like a priest collar. And so his name is Michael Ronnie, and it's after Father Mike from St. Michael's College. So we had a big, puppy shower for him, and brother Michael Carter at the time, who's now also a Father Mike at Mater Christi, he really spoke about the relationship of a friend and a pet, and it was just beautiful. So Father Mike is with us every day. Mike is just a tremendous relief to our families that stay here. Most of them have pets that they leave at home. So almost, I would say 95% of our guests have pets that they're leaving at home, and they're here for months at a time, and they don't see their pets. So every day he's getting petted, and he has his own business card, and he has his treats. And he is a wonderful addition to the house. He's really very special.
I hope he gets a birthday party.
He gets He does.
Yeah.
It's a big birthday party when he actually, when was it? When he turned 21 in human years, we had a big party over at three needs for him and the party hats. But every year he has a party, and we give out goodie bags to all the guests from Mike. And yeah, he has a pretty good life. He's very, I guess all dogs, they really like routine. So, he stands by the door in the morning. I put his vest on. He wants to go to work. He seems disappointed when he doesn't come to work. But it's really interesting where my office is. I look out, and every day he lies outside my office, and everybody, hi, Mike. And they all, kneel down and they pet him. And it's really sweet to see. And the kids love him. And so, yeah, it's a good thing. So it really is a home. We say it's a home away from home, but it truly is a home away from home. And, parents are walking around, or family members in their, in their pajamas. And they have said that. We've had lately a lot of people coming in, and they're in tears. They said, we had no idea it would be so homey, so comfortable. And that makes us feel really good. That means we're doing our job well. And I honestly have to say again to Myers, because not only the basement, but you've been so generous on so many levels, and it really does help sustain us, because that's where we get our money from. It's the community members and the donors, and that's how we stay afloat. So all of that is really important, but Myers has been exceptionally generous to us. So, and I know to many others as well.
Well, when we talk about all the time, and many people do contribute financially, but contributes with their time.
Mm-hmm.
Ken, one of our owners, is often in there cooking, and Jeff comes in, and Denise, as I talked about, helped to do some of the books for the house for a number of years. So, it's not just take every dollar she can get, of course,
Mm-hmm.
but it's the other stuff that goes a long way too, with helping, volunteering at the wait-a-thon, or cooking in the house, or just being around for helping
Mm-hmm.
out.
That's right. Yeah. And I do want to give a shout out to Kenny, because he comes in and he's a great cook, and it's so fun to watch him in the kitchen. And obviously Denise and Jeff. So yeah, that's what we count on. We count on those people and for caring. So
all right, before we let you go, I have a final question, and you may have already done it, because I think it's probably something people ask, but I wondered, what is something about the Ronald McDonald House that you find most people maybe don't know, but you wish they did? or what's like a common misconception, which you mentioned at the McDonald's thing?
McDonald's is huge. I think the biggest misconception, Erin, is when people come in, we've sent that video up to the hospital and for them to show families before they come. But people walk through the door, and we've had people like crying when they see the house. I think that they don't know what to expect. They think it might be more like a hotel or very clinical, and some Ronald McDonald houses are that way, the larger homes. I think they're shocked to see how homey it is. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people don't know that we're only children up to the age of 21. That's another, sort of people don't know that fact. And we serve Vermont and upstate New York. That's our territory. Although we have kids that come in that have been in skiing accidents, they go to one of the colleges in town, and they get hurt, so their parents come in from Portugal and Utah, and so we have that as well. But one of my favorite stories is a mom came in. She had preeclampsia, very high blood pressure. She wasn't well. They kept her in the hospital after the child was born, and her blood pressure was through the roof. And she came down here. She went upstairs to her room and came down, and her husband was in tears. He said her blood pressure has dropped 30 points since she walked in the door.
Oh, wow.
So that is what it feels like here, to know that we're really easing that anxiety for these parents and helping in that way. But I think, the other thing people might not know is we have a family room at the hospital, and that's on Baird 5, the pediatric floor. And it's called the family room, and it's a small apartment that has a kitchen, and it has a shower and laundry. And so parents that are staying up that live in Chittenden County that don't need to stay at the house, but might just need to get out of their child's room for a while, if they're on Baird 5, they can go to that room and get a snack, make coffee, watch TV. We have that room as well. So those are just some of the perks of Ronald McDonald House.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Anything else from you, Joe?
No, thank you, Chris. Still easing into this experiment, so it's nice that you were willing to hop on and chat with us a little bit about it. And we appreciate everything, the org, but also you, Chris. You give so much of your time and a wonderful cause. So thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me. I was really honored that you invited me. And I wish you just great luck. I love the name. I think it's just a fabulous name, good branding, and I know it'll be successful. So good luck and thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. She's great.
She's the best. I've known Chris for a long time, and she's so dedicated to the organization and community. We're lucky to have somebody like that. It's the small amount of time I spend down there. It's hard. We all complain about our jobs from time to time, but my job's nothing. My biggest problem is people complain their trash doesn't get picked up, not that their kid's not going to make it. So she's definitely a special person.